All right. Well, Musty Collective, it is my pleasure to have that FANG family of the interwebs, the AB family. Thank you so much, AB family, for being on the show. Welcome to the Musty Creative Podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. Now, I want to make sure I get your names correctly. We have Papa B, Mama B, or Andres and Rosana, and then we have Miss B and Miss B, Roberto and Gabriella. Welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very cool. And we kind of always do this as part of our podcast when we have creatives on. We like to bestow upon you the title of Musty Creatives. Obviously, you're Musty Creatives before, but it just means that you're just working too hard. And sometimes when you're working too hard, you might miss a shower. You might get musty. You might get a little musty because you're working too hard creatively. But obviously, you're persistent, have this great longevity, this awesome career for your family and individually. And so we just want to thank you for your creativity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So how did the AB family first start? Like, where did you get the inspiration to actually start doing videos?
Well, we've always been recording our lives and having fun together, but it really started when Vine first came out in, I believe it was 2013, when we started making videos. And I just started goofing around with this little 6-second app. And it really started with Gabby and I just goofing around, and then Mr. B joined in, so it was the three of us, and the followers started to grow a little bit, so we started to do a little bit more, and then that's when Mama B came in, and we just started having fun together in that app, and it just kind of rolled into having the YouTube channel now and doing the Instagram. So it was really just out of that 6-second app experience where we were just having some fun, making ourselves laugh.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then at what point, like as you were making the Vines, what point did you realize, wait, this is turning into something else? Like, this is not just us having fun anymore.
Yeah, well, I think it was when we moved over to YouTube, and we started to get contacted like by brands, and we just kept seeing the numbers go up and up. And so, for me, technology is not my thing. It's more my husband, who's the technology genius. And so for me, I couldn't understand what was happening. And that's when we went anonymous with our names, our location, because my first and foremost priority was to protect the kids.
Yeah,
but soon after that, we realized that this could actually be a business. And, if we just continue to be true to ourselves and put forth, someone that people can be proud of. The people who follow us are proud to follow us because they know that we're true to ourselves and true to our brand, and that we will never sway from our morals and our ethics.
Yeah, from being family friendly. And I think that even when we were on Vine, we were approached by Regal Cinemas and Disney. And that's when we were like, I think we have something here. I think we can actually make this into a business. And like Rosanna said, we've always kept it family friendly. We've always kept it clean. So brands really felt comfortable working with us.
Yeah.
And, we've always grabbed that style, and we've continued to work with some great brands.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely think like for sure that's the one thing that like immediately grabs you when we watch your content or the world watches your content is that it's such a true feeling of family. And there's that trust, that social contract of like, okay, we watch AB family content. We know for sure we're going to get this awesome family thing. And then to work with Disney, you truly are family friendly from default. So, and then you talk about like, the morals and things like that. Like, was that something that you talk about, you have meetings about that, or is that it just comes naturally for you all?
I think it comes naturally for us. Like, even before we decided to have a family, we talked about, what our dream family would look like, what we want to teach our children, the kind of parents we want to be, the kind of role models. Like, I think that the world has gotten it wrong on so many levels, which has brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
And what the world needs now more than ever are good role models. We need strong leaders. And so for us, it was really our family unit. We just wanted to be good role models for our kids, never imagining that this would become like a global thing where literally worldwide, there's grown men stopping my husband in airports saying, Papa B, I want to be just like you. When I'm a husband, I want to be like you. I look up to you. I admire you. And it's so overwhelming. It's so beautiful. And it just shows the true nature of how we are all connected, and we all just want the same thing. We just want love, family, healthy relationships, and we want to have a happy life.
Yeah, that's so key. Healthy relationships. And you've definitely been an inspiration for us too, because we've talked about as a married couple, we don't have children yet, but I've always said, like, I want to have a family business. Like I want to do it together. And so that's awesome. But just to kind of backtrack to one of our earlier questions, wanted to make sure, people know, people are new or never heard of the AB family. Can you kind of explain what the AB family is?
Yeah, so we are family-friendly, educational, comedic entertainment for the world.
Nice. Love it.
That's who we are. And we just want to inspire families and inspire teens and kids all over the world to spread positivity and love. And we want to put as many smiles as possible on every face that we can see.
And we want to show
that's
we
amazing.
don't take ourselves too seriously either. And so for the kids, like, what a great thing to learn from a young age is be silly. Laugh at yourself. Don't take life so seriously.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Those are some of my favorite moments, like when Musty, when you pull out the sword.
Oh yeah.
those moments make me laugh so hard, because it's like, oh snap, here we go, or probably like,
Oh yeah, the dead husband. Yeah, we're always trying to think of ideas like that. Like, where can we pull out the sword? Where can we do the dead husband? And a lot of it is just inspiration from what we see around us and things that we've experienced ourselves. We're like, this would be hilarious if we shared it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, do you have any guiding principles for content creation since the beginning, or did they form over time?
They formed over time, but there were always some basic fundamentals where we just keep it family friendly. Keep it relatable, and also create content that works globally. So in the beginning, when we were doing our comedy, we wanted to make sure that we wanted people to laugh with the volume down.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have to understand what we were saying. So we kept our dialogue really, really simple.
Yeah.
Just so that someone in the Middle East can sit there and laugh and be like, this is hilarious. This is exactly what my brother does.
Right. Or someone in Asia or someone in Australia. Like, it's always amazing to us to see the comments and the countries and how far reaching our comedy has gone, because like laughter is universal. Laughter is worldwide. And we want to make sure that there's no barriers in terms of language or culture. And so we are very careful in making sure that whatever language we use, we try never to offend anybody. And I hope that comes through, that, we really love everyone from all around the world, and we want to make as many people laugh as we can.
Oh, that definitely comes through. That's
awesome to think that you've been creating entertaining content so consistently over the years, because some people just burn out, or they just like lose their ideas and they just like don't know where to go next. But I feel like you guys have been really consistent. How do you stay on top of that kind of thing? Like, how do you consistently tell stories that actually mean something to people?
I think not burning out, not trying to post too much. So always leave them wanting more. So if we post once or twice a week, max, on our main channels. And if we have something that's super inspirational, something that we really want to do, we'll add it. But we've always been really careful with our energy and making sure that we don't burn out and vlog every single day and record every single day. So we really have that balance. And
I think that when you're dealing with children, and children are part of the picture, you have to be really careful in not burning them out.
Yeah.
So there's a very fine line. Well, I don't think it's that fine. I think it's very clear when it comes to children, and not overworking them, not having a camera in their face from morning to night every single day. Because, once you see the money roll in, that can be very easy. It can be very easy to cross that line and become greedy. But at the end of the day, I would much prefer to live in a cardboard box and have a healthy family whose mental health is good than to live in a castle. And I've now destroyed my children's souls and they need therapy in 10 years because we expose them to things that weren't age appropriate, or we made them do things that aren't true to their true selves. So I just think you have to live from a place of being conscious as a conscious person, a conscious parent, and a conscious human.
That's so true. Yeah, I definitely feel a sense of responsibility that comes from, Mama B and Papa B, in regards to your children. Like, that I definitely feel that way. Obviously, there's stories that we don't have to bring up, but we can think back to Hollywood, Disney kids, and things like that, where it got out of hand and irresponsible for sure. And I saw like and kind of like a little off comment, but I saw like a Fortnite video. I think it was Mr. B, Miss B. You're trying to get your sister a Fortnite win, but you had an ad for myopia. And I was like, whoa, I was like, man, I gotta spend less screen time. Exactly. But it's cool because I think you mentioned like you only spend 2-3 hours a day. And I was like, wow, that's really responsible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's all about balance. It's all about balance. As much time as they'll spend on their screen, we want them to spend it outside playing basketball, riding they have their skateboards.
Yeah.
So try to balance
and sitting
possible.
and doing nothing. Remember that, guys? Remember in the old days, we used to just sit
and just
like look at the trees and not have a phone in your hand or
stare
a
at the
laptop
clouds,
and just
look at a sunset.
Use your creativity and your imagination. I feel like that's lacking in our world as well because we're so drawn to all these devices and being connected.
Yeah.
Right. You're constantly checking, right?
Yeah.
So you never get to exercise your brain with ideas. And the best ideas are when you're just sitting there in the moment, just looking off or, doing nothing. And that's when the ideas come in. But you can never get it when you're just checking the next YouTube video that pops up and checking comments all the time.
Because we get a lot of comments saying, how is it that everyone in your family is so creative? Like you guys are so creative. And we're like, you're creative too.
Everybody's creative.
You just need to make space in your day to be creative, allow, those juices to come out and those thoughts. But if you're constantly busy and distracting yourselves, you can never know that true potential that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I'm hoping quarantine has actually helped people understand how creative it can be.
Yeah.
It forces you to just you have nothing to do. So you're just forced to actually use your brain and think of different ways to do stuff. So
like plant flowers.
So we've never been able to plant flowers in 17 years of marriage, and now you should see our garden.
It's crazy.
It's blooming.
Awesome.
It's like a botanical experience.
Yeah. Plus the smells and everything, I'm guessing, right?
Oh yeah. We got to balance out the mustiness with the smell of flowers.
Yeah. See, there you go. That's all. Yeah.
Bad joke. Kids don't laugh anymore at the dad jokes. You know how hard it is to get these guys to laugh now? It's crazy. They've seen it all.
Yeah. As you continue to expand and branch out, and obviously now, Mr. B and Miss B have their own channels, and you're branching onto new territory. How are you staying true to your core principles? You're Roberto and Gabriella. You're growing up. You're becoming your individual selves. How's that?
I think that what I would like to do with my future is only what I'd like to do with my hobbies, and I want to make sure that I'm doing whatever I want to do and not just what viewers want, because it's nice to contribute to what viewers want and to make them laugh, but as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing personally, then it's easy to sort of go on with it so that I'm not unhappy and I'm just hiding depression underneath smiles. No, I truly love what I'm doing in my profession, and I can't wait to continue with it.
Yeah.
So someone you're not.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very easy also in the gaming community to kind of fall into that trap where you're only playing kind of games that your viewers want to see, but you're not having any fun at all. Yeah. And that, I don't stand for that, because usually I like playing video games because I get a kick out of it and I have fun. And if I'm not having fun playing video games, then what's the point of playing them? So instead of not having fun playing a game that viewers like to watch, I'll try to find another video idea or another game that we can find that in between, where my audience likes to watch that video game and I like to play it.
Yeah. I definitely felt that. I just started Twitch streaming maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I definitely noticed that people like Fortnite more than playing League of Legends. But I really like playing League of Legends. So.
Right. Exactly, and that's where that balance comes in, where we want to create that entertainment and have fun, but we still need to keep true to our values and what really excites us. So.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a big part of why your videos are so successful, because you can see the passion behind what you're doing. It's not like you're being forced to do it. Like you just genuinely love doing what you're doing. And I think a lot of people resonate with that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. It's like a regular occurrence where we ask the kids, first we'll tell them the idea, and they have full control to say yes or no, yay or nay. If there's any part of the material they don't want to do or don't feel comfortable, then 100% we listen to them. If they're having an off day, we don't film.
Wow.
And so, you know, really the four of us, we're a team. And we say to them, whether we are just our family or we're the AB family, we have to want the best for you and you have to want the best for us.
Yes.
And that means never putting your integrity or your true character on the line, because it's not worth it. It's not worth for you to be someone that you're not, to try to get validation or approval from the world if you're not happy with who you are first.
Yeah, that's so true. And I love it. What you said is like, love your neighbor as yourself, but like you're, you know, obviously the family unit, and, you know, we definitely want the whole world if we could all treat each other the same way, you know, love someone the way you want to be loved. That's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, as far as rewarding moments, obviously like just throughout, you know, the AB family career so far, you know, what have been the most rewarding moments for you as a family?
Do you have any kids?
Just being as a family is the most rewarding thing for me. And having parents. And going to travel too. I've seen so much of the world in just 13 years, and it's been so crazy. And that's one of the biggest opportunities that I have given this job, and the pleasures of going on tour. It's amazing.
Yes, your High Hopes video. I love your
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And what's the name of the band again? Sorry.
Walk off the earth.
Walk Off the Earth. Yeah. No, I jammed to it. Like the energy. Oh, so good. So good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And then, sorry, a little off question, more of a fan question, but you met Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yes.
Gal Gadot. We always want to make sure we say it right.
Yeah, that's right. Gal Gadot. Yeah.
She is such a beautiful human being. Like, obviously, she's beautiful on the outside, but she is such a nice person. Like, she was offering to get us water. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow. On set. That's super cool.
Yeah, that was such a thrill to be able to not only meet her, but meet her in Italy while she was filming on set. Like, whoa, mind blowing.
That's amazing. That's super cool.
So are there any particular projects that you haven't done that you were wanting to do? Because you guys have done a lot so far in like just a amount of time. So is there anything else that you're thinking like, I'm going to do this like a year or two down the road or something like that?
Do you guys have anything that you'd like to do?
Any dreams?
Professional gamer?
Professional gamer? Or
I don't know. I feel like right now I'm kind of living the dream.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
we've done a lot. We've traveled quite a bit. We've collabed with some great people. You know,
I'd like to write a book in the future. That's something that is on deck for me. But right now, I'm still being busy as a mom, and the kids are doing really well on their channels and in their careers, and so we want to support them as much as possible, and just help to make them good leaders, good role models for other young people out there.
That's amazing. So we have some more individual questions that we wanted to ask. And I'll let you.
For Gabriella and Roberto, how do you see yourselves using what you've learned from these experiences in your lives for yourselves as future independent adults?
I think that people skills plays a big factor, and being who we are is meaning that we get to talk to a lot of people and go to a bunch of different events and ceremonies. And so we use those skills and we take it into our future so that we know how to talk to people and we stay grounded and we don't come out as those stars who don't really want to talk to people, because my favorite thing is talking to people. I'm really extroverted and I just love people.
Yeah, that's cool. Extroverted. And then for Roberto, as you've entered the realm of esports, have you faced any challenges?
That's a really good question. I think one of the main challenges, like I stated before, was trying to find a balance in between playing what you want to play versus playing what people want you to play. And so there are games like Valorant and the VR game Rec Room where I don't get as many viewers as I would playing Fortnite, let's say. And you just have to think in your mind, like, it's okay that people aren't going to always watch everything that you play. And there are some people with preferences. So
Yeah.
they're most likely only going to watch Fortnite, and that's okay. And you just have to live with that. But as long as you're doing what you love, playing your favorite game, doing what you love, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so
Can't
true.
please everybody all the time.
Of course.
Yeah, that's super cool. And then you're part of esports team,
Yes, Space Station Gaming.
Space Station Gaming. That's awesome. That's super cool. I as a 15-year-old, like as you know, not as a 15-year-old now, but 15-year-old, it's just like, man, like, I kind of wish I could have been 15-year-old now, because now it's like it's amazing. It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I always imagine that too. As a 15-year-old, I wish I was a professional gamer back in the day.
Yeah, because I had to like, I don't know, do so many chores and just really convince my parents, like give them a pitch like why a computer was good for me at like 16 or 15 years old. And then when I finally got it, they're like, "Oh, you're just wasting your time." So,
Yeah. No, you don't understand.
yeah, now they get it. Now they get it. But yeah, I have one more question as well for Roberto. What do you want your audience to get out of watching your content that they might not get elsewhere?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. What I'm trying to give my audience are videos that you normally don't see on any other channel.
Yeah.
So one of my biggest questions to myself that I ask myself is, what videos can I make that hasn't been done before? And most of those videos kind of revolve around the 15-year-old unboxing stuff.
Yeah,
And just showing off really cool stuff that normally wouldn't be shown off on kind of a regular basis.
yeah,
And so with like mini arcade machines and just really crazy stuff like that, people don't normally get to see those types of reviews. And that's kind of where I come into play.
oh yeah. I remember seeing you do keyboard reveals too.
Right.
Actually, like I've been thinking about buying one now after watching. After watching, and then Michelle, I think you were watching his content on Instagram and you got a Switch Lite.
Oh yeah, you
Giveaway.
guys gave me a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a giveaway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the yellow one with the Mario Olympics
Mhm.
game. Yeah, Sonic Mario Olympics.
Switch package.
Yeah, but thank you for that. So I've been actually playing Animal Crossing like nonstop
A
on that
lot.
thing. So.
Awesome. See? Full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
So okay, Gabriella, what is your process for songwriting and what inspires you?
For me, I personally love to sit down with my thoughts and notice everything that I'm thinking and how I feel in every situation. And so when I'm transforming them into my songs, I always want my viewers to know exactly what they're listening to and how I want them to feel and how I just want to relate to them so they don't feel alone, because one of my biggest fears is just having to go through something alone. And that's the complete opposite of what my listeners need. And most of the time when I'm writing lyrics, I just let it come to me. Like sometimes they even come to my dreams. And somebody knew there was one pre-chorus that I actually wrote like one sentence in my dream. It was pretty crazy. But most of the time I just let it come to me and naturally and exactly where my heart is taking me.
That's really cool. I've noticed like there's a sort of a pattern in your songs about like just loving yourself and who you are. I think that's really cool that that's a natural instinct for you to write lyrics like that, because there's a lot of girls your age that don't feel that way. And I think it's something that's really important for girls that your age, that they, and even like older women like me, like just understand that you have value and that your opinion matters, your voice matters. And I think that's something that a lot of girls can look up to in that way. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that there are so many songs right now that are just about love. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing them because it's the same garbage of dating. And I don't care about that. I don't care. I'm not in a relationship. Like I've never been in one. And I don't think about that stuff a lot. Like for me, my biggest thoughts are about what's going on in the world currently and me and speaking out and loving myself. And I want viewers and I want listeners to love themselves. And like frick, relationships aren't the main goal here. Like I feel like every single song is that. You can't find one song that's not about it.
It's
Yeah,
old school
true.
thinking, right? It's old school thinking. Like
Yeah.
when I was raised, it was all about getting married and having children.
Yeah.
You know, like it was all about, whoa, because when you get married and you get married and you get married,
Yeah.
whereas the conversation with Gabby has always been when you discover who you are,
Yes.
discover your gifts,
Yeah.
when you share yourself with the world, when you make a difference in the world, when you travel the world. And so naturally now she's putting out those messages to the world.
Mhm.
And I love to see comments from grown women saying, I want to be like Gabby when I grow up.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many girls now that do that. And I want them to know that their life isn't revolving around a man. Like they can
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
live their life like without a boyfriend. Boyfriends mean nothing. They actually just trap you. They just hold you hostage. Like like awesome. Boys are awesome. They're really cool people. I like them, but you don't need them to survive. Like come on.
That's right.
And the one thing I really want is to be completely different from other girls' morals. And I feel like all girls are the same, but most of the girls in the music community all have the same goals here. And I really want to be different. And then when people hear my name, Gabriella B, they know exactly who I am and who I want to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually kind of felt a little bit of Frozen 2 vibes right there with yeah, show yourself. Yeah, sorry, that was a big moment.
Hilarious. Oh my God. Are you sure you're not the ones that do the comedy?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, no. But let's see. Yeah, and then Gabriella, as you continue to grow as an artist, what have you learned about yourself and the types of messages that you want to convey through your song? I guess we kind of talked about this, but
yeah, just being true to yourself and not having to change your personality for others.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. That's so cool.
Oh, and then Rosanna, at what point did you realize that you wanted to move forward and getting involved in humanitarian efforts? Because you took a trip to overseas. I think it was Iraq, was it, that you visited?
Yes.
That's wow.
Can you explain more about what that trip was all about and the types of humanitarian work you're doing?
Absolutely. So I think at heart, I've always been a humanitarian ever since I was a little girl. I just had this awareness of trying to help people around me. You know, like someone, one of my family members once said to me, can't you just mind your own business? And I said, I can't. I have this inner fire inside of me. And maybe it's because I'm a trauma survivor, maybe because I'm an empath, but I just have this like desire that I can't mute. Like I can't mute who I am on the inside, which is just trying to help people and teach people and just sharing wisdom that I've learned.
Yeah.
And so the first opportunity that I got was actually to travel to Jordan, which was absolutely incredible. And I interviewed Syrian refugees there. But since then, like I've been to Bangladesh to visit refugees. I've been to Ethiopia. And the trip to Iraq or to Kurdistan, which is in northern Iraq, I had met a woman who runs women's centers there. And she said, would you ever come there? And I said, yes. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I am there.
Wow.
And lo and behold, like a year later, there was an opportunity with YouTube to create a video, a meaningful, inspiring video. And that was my first choice, was to go into the eye of the storm, if you will.
Yeah.
Meet with these women and girls who were victims of ISIS.
Yeah.
So for a lot of them, their husbands were killed. Their sons were made into soldiers. And a lot of these young girls were sold or became wives at the age of 10 or 11. And so it was meeting with them, traveling to these refugee camps and telling their story and letting the world know what these people have gone through. And they're still fighting for justice. They're still fighting for these men who went in there and destroyed their lives and their communities to be held accountable. And honestly, like that's my dream, is just to do that permanently. Like ever since I was a little girl, I looked up to women like Mother Teresa, like Princess Diana, you know, women who just went to those parts of the world where there was the most suffering and they just wanted to hold children and to look women in the eyes and let them know they're not alone. That's honestly, like, I just, after all this quarantine stuff is over, I'd love to continue to do things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I'm right there with you. Like I've been really getting passionate about trying to find ways to help with like sex trafficking and stuff like that. And I'm like totally on board. If you need help with anything, let me know. I'll be there. Like
amazing. Yeah, I think it's just, that's the true definition of living a meaningful life.
Yeah.
Right? A life of meaning is what impact are you having? Like, you know, are we having superficial conversations, you know, because of course we're all going to talk about hair and shoes and makeup and stuff like that. But what are you doing in the world? You know, what are you doing to leave a legacy for the next generation? It's conversations like that that I think are so powerful and needed.
So what are some challenges that you faced in actually taking part in that humanitarian effort?
Well, I think the most or the biggest challenge is that it's it's not as popular as like Fortnite dance videos.
Right.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's the biggest challenge, is we need to make our humanitarians, our activists, the heroes in today's society.
Yes.
But, you know, we do live in a superficial world, and it's all about being beautiful or having drama. If you're a train wreck, man, do you get those views? But if you are a good person, right, and you're doing good work and you're changing the world, you know what? You basically have to die for people to talk about you. You know, like Mahatma Gandhi, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Like, why are we not celebrating these people when they're alive and putting them on a pedestal and making their voices louder? And so that's my main thing, is I wish that those videos got 5 or 10 million views.
Yeah.
You know, we need to play with slime or fidget spinners.
Oh, mercy.
You know?
just to get a wider audience.
Well, just so we can
start,
pay ourselves too, so we can pay our bills.
That's true. That's true.
That's the content. But, you know, that's hopefully where I would like to see the world changing, is people watching more meaningful things.
Yes.
And I think if people, they just like you as a family, I think when they do start figuring out, oh, they're doing all these humanitarian efforts across the seas and everything, I think that would help them to think more about like, oh, well, maybe I could do that too.
Yeah.
I think it all works together in a way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, you don't have to hop on a plane and travel to the other side of the world to make a difference. It's in walking down the road and seeing that elderly person who needs help, or holding the door open for someone. Or if you're at the supermarket and you see that there's a woman who can't pay for her groceries and she's just missing $5, can you pitch in those $5? And so it's these behaviors, this accumulation of goodwill and good deeds that changes really not only your family, your community, but the world.
Yeah. So true. So true. I think sometimes with the watching those videos, I think people get uncomfortable. And so they kind of want to go back to the comfort. And well, hopefully we can all start to feel okay with the uncomfortable. And then it becomes good if we all can just solve the problem together.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it would be nice for like companies to get behind it, you know, brands start putting dollars towards those people who are making a difference. You know, like I see a lot of great people making great content, but they can't sustain themselves because they're not getting the views. And so it's almost like you have to sell out to get the views, like pay your bills, because if you do what you really want to do, then you can't, you know, pay for your electricity or put food on the table. So let's start putting the dollars towards those people who are actually making change, and not just talking about it, but actually doing it.
That's so true. That's so true. And then Andres, when we talk about the Musty Create podcast, we're motivated to become better storytellers. And so, you know, how has your method of storytelling changed as your children have gotten older?
Yeah, we obviously look to age up our content as the kids get older. So when they were younger, there were certain appropriate topics that we would focus on, like slime or squishies or fidget spinners and toys, and certain relatable moments that kids can relate to. or that parents with younger kids could relate to. But now as they've become teens, those stories and those videos now age up to that style where now we're looking at the brother and sister relationship as teenagers, how parents deal with teens. So it is definitely aged up. And it's great because it's a whole new world that we've always been looking to get into. So it's great. Opportunity.
Or we can just have more kids.
Or we can just have gender reveal. Like if we had a baby, there was like 47 videos that we could make, and we would probably get.
There's 9 months worth of content.
It's 9 months plus, like probably 7 months later until you have to have another baby.
I was actually at a conference talking about this, and there was a creator there. I won't say who she was, but she was pregnant, and I said, "Oh, congratulations." She's like, "Yeah, this baby's gonna be great content." And I thought to myself, "Oh my God, like that's a child, that's a human being.
That's true.
Guidance and teaching and love and protection. That's not your meal ticket, lady."
Yeah.
I didn't say that, but I mean, someone needs to say it. You know what I mean? We need to have that dialogue as well.
Oh my God. What the heck?
Yeah.
That's a literal human being form of life.
True. That is true.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people that watch this because they don't have parents to tell them, "Hey, this is not something you guys should be watching. This is not real content."
Well, it's not real life. It's not real life because raising children is hard. It's rewarding. It's amazing, but it's hard work, and it's a lot of time invested teaching them to be good human beings, decent human beings who are going to add value to our world.
Yes.
So I don't want, a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old who's alone, maybe whose parents aren't engaged with her thinking, if I just have a baby, my life is going to be great. And I'll have someone to love and someone to love me. It's like, no, get your education, stay in school, surround yourself with positive role models. And so
this is where TLC they used to be the learning channel, and then they moved over to TLC and started doing all these crazy 8+8 shows, My Life as a Whatever and My Crazy Whatever, because shock and train wreck. It's not about having a baby and bringing a human being into the world. It's about this train wreck family who's on their 7th kid, who the dad's kind of sketchy and the mom's kind of sketchy. Now they're having another baby.
Yeah, sometimes
it's like we know how much of a train wreck you are and how terrible you guys are. Yeah. Now you're having another baby, so we have to see what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the views. And you'll see YouTube, it happens all the time. They just these families just pop out babies and it's like 5 million views. I'm like, but why? Why? Yeah. Because you're a train wreck.
That is some of the more annoying content on YouTube where it's people are proposing, but it's like fake. And
proposals are unbelievable. Yeah, no, we can sit here. We can do a whole podcast on it's quite awful what's out there. See, that's the thing for us. We'd rather have 300,000 views on a video where we decided let's do this for fun, than to have 7 or 10 million views doing something that is absolutely insane that you're going to completely regret 10 years from now.
Yes.
Watch these families 10 years from now. I guarantee you they're all going to be in therapy and they're all going to be standing around going, there's like 10 of us here.
Not only that, wait for the tell-all videos.
Oh, the tell-alls are going to be the best. There's going to be
Oh no. Oh man. But okay, and then Andres, Papa B, as you're managing all this, you created the business, you're managing the AB family, but what have been some of the most important lessons you've learned, not only about content creation, but about owning a family business?
Yeah, really, it's all about balance. And I've always wanted to spend as much time as possible with my family doing things that we love. Because I used to work at a job that I didn't really like and had a boss that I wasn't a big fan of. And I always just saying, like, I want to work at home with my family, spend as much time as possible doing something like that. That's my dream. And so that's what I've always wanted to do. And what really excites me is seeing everyone achieve their goals. Yeah. He wants to be a professional gamer. So let's do that. Let's figure out what that looks like. Gabby wants to be a world famous singer, traveling the world. What does that look like? Mama B wants to change the world, be a humanitarian and create this incredible change. So what does that look like? And for me, that's what I love to see.
Yeah.
So there's my focus. So I'm already living the dream because my family's living their dream.
That's amazing.
Oh.
And like as a young husband, not a father yet, like that is very inspirational to me because sometimes it's like, oh, what about my dreams and what about what I want to do and my checklist? But what I hear from you is like you're supporting your wife and your son and your daughter's dreams, and you're happy to see them succeed. Again, not a question we had on the list, but I'm just kind of wondering, like, how did you get to that servant mindset? If it's okay if I call it a servant mindset, but
yeah, absolutely. It just depends personally on what you want out of life. For me, I want nothing more than to be as free as possible with my ideas. To sit down and not to be confined by rules or having to worry about someone else to tell me you need to get up at this time and go and do this. And I want to be able to do it myself. So if I want to spend the whole day sitting in the backyard watering flowers, then I'll do it that day. Right.
Yeah.
So, and it comes to the creativity. So if there's someone who wants something, wants to do something, that's where I love to spend my energy. That's my dream, is to be able to create. And so it's a great balance because I'm happy creating, and people around me are happy doing what they love to do. So it's a mindset of servitude, but I don't even see it that way. I just see it as I'm getting to create and build things and see things flesh out and happen. And it's all for a good cause, and it's all good vibes, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then we're almost done. We have 2 more questions. And in today's social/political climate, why do you think your content is so important for this time?
Oh, I think now more than ever, we need to bring smiles to people's faces. We need to laugh. We need to focus less on what media is telling us, which we know that a lot of media is false, right? It's what they want to show you.
Yeah.
And we need to get out of this idea that we are divided, that we are separate. And hopefully one of the things that we have done for people around the world is to show how actually similar we are. We are so alike. It doesn't matter the color of our skin. It doesn't matter what your passport looks like versus mine. We all come from love. We want laughter. We want, togetherness, positive vibes, joy. And so, regardless of the climate and what's happening, I think it's actually great. In my opinion, 2020, I know people are like, this is the worst year ever. This is crazy. I'm like, are you crazy?
There's never been so much change.
This is the best year ever. We are living through this global awakening where people are worried less about celebrities and celebrity drama. And we are tackling, injustices. We are, fighting for Black Lives Matter. We are fighting for LGBTQ. Like we are talking about real things and making a difference. Than, frivolous, superficial stuff. So, I think now more than ever, there's a place for our family, and that's why we make sure to take care of ourselves, our mental health, so that we continue to put out family-friendly content that's positive and that inspires other people to do the same.
Yes. I think, the idea like you talked about earlier about being leaders. I think your family are leaders in our society, and the society is better for your leadership and what you're doing individually and as a family. And you're right. That's the first time I've heard that perspective. So thank you for that. 2020 is the best year. We have like 4 bills in Congress that are going to attack, injustices by police and help equality. Like we weren't going to have that in 2020 if things didn't happen the way they were. So that's a very good point.
People are not tolerating nonsense anymore. They are expecting more from their elected officials. They don't want corruption. They want love. They want people to be treated as equals. And so, how have we not done this in the past? And it's 2020. And
True.
we're still fighting for this. Like, this is insane. Gabby, we went to a protest.
Oh, wow.
And it was just amazing to see her in that environment fighting for Black Lives Matter and using her voice at 13. And she's like, I can't believe I'm doing this in 2020. And I'm like, I know, I can't believe it either. We're here and we're going to be as loud as we can.
That's awesome. Yeah, we actually stumbled into a Black Lives Matter protest and joined them. Yeah, but it was totally peaceful. Everyone was really chill, you know, and
Well,
we were shouting, but it wasn't like violent or anything.
Yeah.
No, the majority of them are peaceful protests. It's just what the media wants to show and what TikTok shows.
They only show riots and
It's like,
looting.
you go on the TikTok video page 2 weeks ago, and it was like, wow,
Looting.
the world is cracking in half. This is crazy.
Yeah.
What the world wants to, what media wants to show you. So for us, it's really important that we try to teach our kids, if you want to make change, you have to be in a position of power. So look up laws, do your research. If you want to get into law, that's what you want to go into. That's great. If you want to get to politics, but the future of politicians and the future of lawyers are the ones who are going to be changing.
We need to get good people at the top.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. And I also want to protect those good people too, because I feel like, you know, people they're trying to get them to, you know, lose their integrity, you know, and, you know, that's just really unfortunate with, you know, politicians, elected officials. So yeah, I totally agree. And go out and vote, get registered, and definitely be aware and do your research for sure.
Absolutely. And it's like that in every industry, music, YouTube, law, everywhere. You have to protect your integrity as you grow and as you become bigger, because you can quickly sell out.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're regretting it 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So our last question is like a fun little question I like to do. And hope maybe if all you have an answer, that'd be awesome. If not, it's totally cool. But what story are you dying to tell but haven't yet?
What story?
And we're not live anywhere, so we can all mess up and we can.
Give me a brainstorming session.
Yeah.
So I'll go first.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a movie about our lives where it's literally like rags to riches kind of thing, because Papa and I, or Andres and I, started from very humble beginnings. And there was a time where he was working 3 jobs, you know, to put food on the table.
Wow.
And when he was laid off from his main job, you know, we sprung into action. It's like, what can I do to make money? And I actually used to clean houses. I did that for 7 years.
Wow.
Stuff like this, people don't know about us, is where did we come from? What were our sacrifices? You know, we never forget where we came from. And we came from immigrant families, and we've had to build everything that we have. And it's never been about being rich or famous. You know, like that was never the goal. In fact, we are very private. We're a very private family, and privacy is very important to us.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the stars aligned, and I think that the universe recognized our intentions were in the right place. And so how do you go from, you know, having struggled so much to having the platform that we have now and still being grounded and normal people? Like I was at the gym, obviously months ago, and when they finally realized who I was, and one of the coaches was like, "Oh my God, you're so normal."
That's awesome.
Your mama being from the AB family, but you're so quiet and you don't need any attention, and you're such a private. And I'm like, yeah, because I know who I am.
Yeah.
I know who I am, and I know where I come from, and I haven't let any of this go to my head. And so that's what I would love to see, like a movie that, you know, stars us in the beginning when you guys were little and we used to live in a basement apartment. And
I was hiding from the raccoons because they wouldn't let me get in. When
Yeah.
I come home late.
Oh no.
And I got a family raccoon staring at me, and I had to wait in the car. I just couldn't go to the basement. I had to wait for them to leave because they were ready to fight me, and it was crazy.
Oh.
it's telling the struggles, right? Because people see you standing on the podium, but they don't see all the stuff that happened and all the hard work that you put in to get there. They just see like, oh my gosh, look at these people. They have 10 million followers on YouTube. But it's like, how did we build this? How did we get to this point? The sacrifices, the tears. So
Yeah, I had that exact same occurrence the other day, because I made like a new friend, and then I didn't really tell her about anything because I didn't want her to treat me differently than how she first met me. And so she asked for my TikTok, and then I was like hesitating. I was like, Gabriella B. And then she's like, no, wait a second. This one says you have 5 million followers. And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, that's crazy. I would have never guessed, because and I was like, yeah, because that's like the last thing I want people to think of me as, or I don't want to come onto somebody and be like, and that is my only personality trait of just having followers. Like we are regular people. We have struggles, we have problems, we have feelings, and we just need to stay grounded all the time.
Right. So true.
I love it.
Yeah.
So true.
I love it.
No, I think the story is what Mama B said. It's telling the world where we came from and getting people to understand really that we didn't. No one starts at 10 million subscribers, or everyone starts with 1 subscriber, and really just we never did this to be famous. We never did this with an end goal of we're going to be rich and famous. Or we're going to be living in a mansion. Like, no, I just wanted to make people laugh. There were so many funny jokes that I thought, you know what? We got to put this out there because I think it's hilarious. This is so funny. And then 3 people liked it, and then 20 people, and it just kind of snowballed. We're like, oh, we should do more dad jokes. Okay. And because we were laughing so much. I mean, we watch our own videos and we just laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us happy.
I think like the fact that you can watch your own content and like still enjoy it, like that's a really great sign.
And that's what we've always wanted to do. Even now recently, we're letting strangers decide what we eat at a drive-through. Now that's something that's really popular a year ago, but we decided, you know what, let's do that because you guys, we were like, this is fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's have fun. Who cares? Let's go. Let's do it once a week. So, and I hope it shows in our videos that we're just naturally having a good time.
Well, I hope by watching your video, maybe Chipotle will add a drive-through. Yeah.
Maybe they'll add one because of our video.
Yeah. That's I was watching it like, oh, I wish Chipotle had a drive-through. I was like, yes. I kind of, one of my like fantasy dreams would be like to own a Chipotle franchise. So
you know what? In about a year from now, every single fast food place is going to have a drive-through.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, things are changing really fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that, for us as well, it's just been to receive those private messages that no one sees. A lot of them from kids who will send us messages, and we can't respond to everyone, obviously, because there's just the sheer magnitude of it. But there's certain kids that will respond back to, and they're either feeling isolated, they feel alone. We get messages where kids say, oh, my parents are fighting downstairs, or my parents are getting a divorce, and you guys give me hope. And watching your videos has changed who I am. And now I know that I can be a good person, have a good family, regardless of where I come from.
Yes.
And so this is the stuff also that's not talked about, is we're not just making people laugh. It's the power of video and showing people that you can be this Latino family who can laugh at ourselves, but it's those subliminal messages of love, of family, of being a good person, of loving yourself and being confident. It's those little messages that are getting to people beyond just laughter.
So true. That would be like really hard hitting for me to hear those messages like, oh, my parents are fighting, they're getting divorced. But the fact that those children feel safe enough to message you and to let you know and to try to find some kind of comfort, that's amazing.
Totally. And also sharing our stories. And so I've been very vocal in that I haven't had a perfect life. I haven't had, a perfect childhood. And so just showing these kids that, yes, what you're going through, it's not the end of the world. It's actually going to make you stronger. And you're more resilient. And just don't look at struggles as, oh, why is this happening to me? Don't have a victim mentality. Think to yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to empower other people? And so a lot of these kids don't have those messages at home. Their parents are not talking to them like that. And so even if it just takes one message from us to give them that hope and to reach out and let them know, hey, we're here with you. We're fighting the good fight with you. We are no better or no worse. And it shocks them that, oh my God, this is the Avey family and they're taking time to talk to me. In this tiny little city. Oh my God, they do care. They do care. And I hope that comes out at the end of the day in, the videos that we put out and the messages and in everything, was that we were those creators that didn't just do it for the notoriety. We actually do care about people and about making a difference.
Yeah, and your track record shows. And again, like we can name names of other YouTubers, and your track record shows, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And not, it's not that you're perfect. Obviously, people make mistakes, but just great job. keep going.
Appreciate it.
Likewise.
Yes,
You guys are amazing people too, and I love what you guys have done. And it's just thank you for asking us to do this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
No, this was awesome. This is
Yeah,
actually this is really Michelle. This was so chill. Like thank you so much. Like when she said like, oh, she responded, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this.
No, because we really appreciate, because there aren't too many people that are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think you are fulfilling a need for a lot of people to see what a healthy family looks like. And there's so many people struggling in the world, and people who they don't have hope. And when they see like, oh, this can be a reality for me. There are humans that can live a good life and be happy with each other. And it's just, I think you guys are doing so much more than you think you are. Like, I know you guys know you're doing something great, but like just the amount of people that you're reaching with your messages and the way that you're doing it and the love that you're showing people, I think it really means so much more and is so much deeper than I think you guys can even imagine. So thank you guys.
Wow, you're gonna make me cry right now.
I thought she was gonna cry. Right?
Are you a crier? Because I'm a crier.
She's
I'm a crier, yeah.
Gabby and I are not criers. We try. They try.
I'm a crier. Yes, I'm a crier.
You're a crier. Then I'm not a crier. Then I'm less of a.
Sometimes.
You don't know it.
Awesome. Obviously, a lot of people know how to find you, but would you like to just do a quick plug of anything, any future events? Yeah,
you can find us on YouTube if you just look for AB Family, EHBE Family. Actually, everywhere, all over the internet. Just search for family. We'll be there. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Type family into Google. It's like #1.
B family. We're there.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you, AB Family, for being on the Musty Create podcast. Musty Collective, we have it on the podcast, so thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Guys. Thank you.
Lots of love to you guys.
Awesome.
You too.